and welcome to Chandler in Focus. I'm Councilmember René Lopez, and today we're going to be talking with Chandler Fire, Health and Medical about the recruitment and training process. My guests today are Keith Hargis, Assistant Fire Chief, and Robert Krauel, Firefighter. Chandler Fire, Health and Medical recently hired 9 recruits, and they're going to share today with us some of the initial recruiting process. So first, let's talk about your background. Keith, let's start with you.
Well, first, let me say thank you for having me on. It's definitely a pleasure for us to talk about something that we feel so passionately about, and that is our recruitment process. It's really what gets us the quality people that we have that deliver the service out to our citizens. So it's something that we hold near and dear. It's very important to us. So thank you, Councilmember Lopez, for inviting us. Myself, I was born and raised in Chandler. So lived here my whole life. Parents still live in Chandler. Grew up, went to Dobson High. Knew I wanted to be a firefighter early on in my life. I grew up in the medical profession. My mom's a nurse. My stepdad is actually a firefighter with Chandler. We tested for the first time together. I was 18. He had been working on the ambulance in the city of Chandler for many, many years. He got hired. I didn't for a few more years later, and I was hired on young by our standards at 23. So I've been working for the department for 15 years now. Wow. And I've loved every minute of it. It's been a fantastic experience for me, but that's me.
Thank you. Robert?
Thank you for having me on. And I grew up in the North Phoenix area, went to North Canyon High School, played college basketball at the University of Puget Sound in Tacoma, Washington. Oh. Married my high school sweetheart after graduating. In the previous 4 or 5 years before this, I've been working at Grand Canyon University.
Good. So over the last 20 years, the recruitment process has changed a little bit to be refined to what it is today. So Keith, you can give us a little background on that? And
sure.
What's
Absolutely.
changed?
So for us, the recruitment process, as I said, is very important, and it's unique to the city of Chandler. It takes some additional resources and definitely some additional effort on the city's behalf to put together a process like we have now. We're one of the only cities in the Valley that do our process as in-depth as we do. Our recruitment process mirrors many cities at the initial phases. It involves a written exam. It involves interview boards with membership. And ours, where we differ, is often cities hire after the interview process. So you get the opportunity to interview a candidate 1, 2, or 3 times for a 15 to 30-minute interview. And then many cities make their selections based on those interviews. And as we know, firefighters have a tendency to stay employed for 25 to 35 years. So it's a huge investment on behalf of the municipality on an hour and a half of time with a candidate. For us, we recognized early, back in 1991, so we've been doing this for 25 years now, that we wanted to see more. We wanted to have a better understanding of the person. We wanted to have more experiences, expose them to more situational experiences where we could evaluate who they are as a core. So we instituted a internship program in 1991. We've continued that, but as you mentioned, it has refined. So in 1991, we began that process. Then Fire Chief Beckwith sent a company officer of ours to California, where he had heard that a community college was collaborating with the fire department to do kind of a mentorship program. So we sent a company officer back there, evaluated that program, worked with the college, and brought that knowledge back to us, and we instituted our very first internship program. Then, the first time, it was 26 weeks long, and it was 3 days a week. So those members volunteer their time. They're not paid. They did half of a year of volunteer competing against a larger group for the opportunity to get hired. And then they did a 2-week full-time academy with the members that were hired. And those members we affectionately call first class. We tend to give names to all of our recruit classes. They were the first group, and now we've learned over those 25 years, and we've reduced the internship portion. Now we do a 5-week internship, but that allows us the opportunity to really see members and get quality members like Firefighter Krauel here, who has been tried and tested before the city makes that huge investment of a 35-year career.
Yeah, it gives you more time to get to know them before getting them on board.
We really get to see their teamwork ability, their ability to connect with people, their ability to follow directions, the physicality. And I know you're gonna speak to Chief Kemp later, and you really talk about all the in-depth processes and evaluations that go on during that. But yes, it's a fantastic process.
So I understand this most recent class, we partnered with Tempe Scottsdale on the recruitment. So what was the difference, or what was the change in the role there for you?
That's been a great addition to the process and another refinement. We started partnering several tests ago, and it really helps us share resources. Tests and buying nationally certified tests are an expensive process. Getting venues are expensive. Housing the number of applicants that we get, it can be expensive. So we're able to share those costs amongst 3 cities, and then the 3 cities can share the applicant pool list. So we together all collaborate. We pick a test. We form a committee. My role was our lead person on that committee from the Fire, Health, and Medical Department. I also had an HR component with me as well. And the other cities did the same. And we met for months, and we picked a test. We selected venues for our candidates to come and register, which are large venues. We went out to Westworld for our testing process because we tested almost 1,500 applicants to get down to where we were with the final 9. So we were very fortunate to be part of that, and it's really helped us shave costs and increase our efficiency in the process.
It's great that we can partner. They're going to be working with those cities in the future anyway. So what are some of the prerequisites before they can apply, for someone who can apply to be a firefighter?
Really, we have very basic prerequisites because of the amount of knowledge that you gain in the academy. So what we require is that a candidate is 18 years old. We require that a candidate has a high school diploma, and we require a candidate has an EMT certification or that is currently enrolled in an EMT class that will finish before a job offer is made. So all of our membership has to be medically certified at either the EMT or paramedic level. So EMT is the entry level. So we require that. And then we also require the candidate to have a current CPAT card, which is a physical evaluation that's separate from our own physical evaluations that we do in-house. Okay. So those are our basic requirements, very, very minimal. And really, I think what that speaks to is what we're looking for is not a firefighter. We can train a firefighter. We're looking for quality people. Wow. We're looking for people that can deliver the service.
Okay, thank you. So Robert, what made you decide to become a firefighter?
I think I was first interested in high school. I knew some coaches that I was around at that time were captains, and we got kind of exposed to the culture and what they did on a daily basis. And I kind of had a romantic view of what firefighting was when I was a teenager, but I think the older I got, the more mature I got, and the more professional experience I've had as an adult, I became even more attracted to it just because of not only the healthcare side of it, but the customer service. And just getting an opportunity to be something or be a part of something bigger than yourself, to work in a team atmosphere every day, and to feel like you're having an impact and making a difference in the community is extremely rewarding. And it was a lengthy process, like Chief Hargis just alluded to, but it's been worth it every second along the way. And it's, waking up every day is different. I'm excited to come to work. I wanted to be challenged in what my life's work was, whatever it was going to be. And it's been a great fit so far. It's only been a month that I've been on a truck, but I love it, and I wouldn't want to do anything else.
Great. Well, thank you for trying out, and congratulations on a successful application. So with only a few minutes left, it goes pretty quick. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Maybe surprises from the recruiting process?
To be honest, I was blown away by the city when it came to recruitment, and then also the internship process and the academy. One thing that stood out to me was between the first and second round interviews, we had an opportunity where the department reached out to us as candidates and invited us to come down to the stations and meet with firefighters. And I've been through this process through different cities, and when you're trying to become a firefighter, it's hard to limit yourself to one city. Like I said, I grew up in Phoenix and live in that area, but that made Chandler stick out to me right away because I got to come to the stations and meet people, and nobody was asking me who I knew in the department or do I know anybody on the job? Does your dad work for there was none of that. It was tell us about yourself, and that meant a lot to me. And then the internship was an incredible opportunity. I know not every department and city has the resources or time to make that happen, but I think on the hiring side of things, you wonder how much can you really get to know about a candidate in 20 minutes. On my side, and being in the candidate's shoes, I feel like I have so much more that I could show if I had an opportunity to have an internship, to have something where you're getting tangible and practical skills. And as Chief Hargis said, you get a chance to see how people respond and work within a team setting. So that was an incredible opportunity just to be able to really showcase, what we bring to the table as candidates, and get to, again, work amongst everybody in the internship, and then my brothers in the academy. It's been an awesome experience, and I'm very very thankful.
Okay. Well, thank you both very much for joining us today. Really appreciate it, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
And before we talk to our next guests, we're going to watch a short video of what the recruits experience. Welcome back. For those of you just joining us, I'm Councilmember René Lopez, and we're taping Chandler in Focus. We're talking with Chandler Fire, Health, and Medical today about the recruiting process, and I want to congratulate the 9 recruits for their dedication and successful completion of the recruiting process. So my guests are Eric Kemp, Fire Battalion Chief, and Robert Krauel, a firefighter. So they're going to share today a little bit of the training experience. So let's get a little bit of your background first, Eric.
Okay, I've been with Chandler Fire for last 19 years in relation to the fire department and recruitment. I've been involved with recruitment for about 17 of those 19 years, everything from handing the tests out to now being in charge of that recruitment process for the internship, which is the last phase of our evaluation for them. So, and currently I'm working out at Battalion 281, which is stationed out of Station 1 on Pecos.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked earlier about how over the last 20 years on how the application testing application changed.
Mm-hmm.
How has the physical ability test also changed over the last 20 years?
About 17 years ago, within the last 20 years, the initial testing process changed. Across the valley, it was, and the United States for that matter, the test was pretty broad. People realized it needed to be more specific and it needed to be a test that was standardized. And so I'd say about 17 years ago, the CPAT, as we know it now, Candidate Physical Ability Test, was developed, and it's used all across the United States as well as here in Chandler.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So as part of the testing and the recruitment process,
Mm-hmm.
there's some physical and mental aspects that recruits need to have for the training. How would future recruits want to prepare for this testing?
First of all, when they come into the academy or the internship, for that matter, all the recruits, they're going to be required to take tests pretty much every day they're there, written tests. They're going to be required to sit in lectures to retain that information. They're required to do reading assignments, to read the information that is handed to them. And so obviously they have to be able to read and retain information. We also ask them to do written assignments, which they need to be able to comprehend the information they're getting and be able to put it down on paper. And so there's that mental side of it, but there's also the mental side of it as the challenge. And that's things that we kind of look for in our internship process and see how they adapt to being under stressful conditions and being able to overcome some physical limitations mentally to see if they're going to be a good fit for us in our city.
Thank you. And Robert, as part of that, when you came in and decided to be a firefighter, what was your expectation? What did you think the training was going to be like, and did it meet or exceed your expectations?
Well, I think the internship is so great because it gives you just a kind of an idea of what the academy is going to be like. It's sort of like a mini academy, so to speak. It's only 2 days a week instead of 5 like the academy was, but like Chief Kemp said, there's reading requirements, there's testing requirements, there's all the physical work that we do, and then on top of all the practical skills and being under stressful environments. So being able to go through the internship, it gave us all a little confidence, going into the academy. We had some expectations, what was going to be required physically. We had some hands-on experience throughout the internship to where we felt confident working with certain tools. And we knew what the academic expectations are going to be like as well. So I think that's just a great benefit that the Chandler Fire Health and Medical department has, is to be able to give candidates that 5-week period to really harness a lot of the skills and right off the bat what I need to work on, areas I need to improve in, and the staff did a great job of letting us know. But I walked into the academy confident because of the internship, and I was really grateful for that experience.
So what did you find the most challenging or rewarding? I mean, which challenge did you overcome that you found the most rewarding for yourself?
For me, I was very green in a lot of areas. I mentioned earlier that I was fortunate enough to play sports collegiately, but the medical side, it's a lot. It's a huge responsibility, and I went through EMT school like everybody else to make it up to that point. But it's until you're in the field and you're getting hands-on experience and you kind of have that stress, it's hard to really duplicate that in a training scenario. Then also on the fire side, my academy brothers will laugh if they watch this, but I am far from a seasoned mechanic of sorts, and it took me some time to get hands-on experience and to get the coaching and the teaching and repetitions to feel confident and be competent in those areas. So that's part of this whole thing, is to embrace your strengths and your weaknesses, and that's what's great about working in a team. I was good at some things that the guy next to me wasn't so great at, and vice versa. So you're in an environment where you can lean on the people around you, and it makes everybody better.
Great. So this year, I understand that the final recruits had a chance to cross-train with the Mesa Police Department. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So we're going to watch a little video showing the experiences that you all had.
The reason we got to come here today is Mesa Fire normally has academy going on, but right now they don't. And so Mesa Police Department reached out to us and asked if we'd like to join into their joint PD-FD day.
Mesa PD and Mesa Fire had us out to their training facility to kind of experience our academy and their police academy kind of come together and swap roles for the day. It was a pretty fun event. We got to help them and run them through our drills, and likewise we were running through the PD drills, and yeah, made for a quite fun day.
On the fire side, you know, we wanted to get a feel for what police go through on a daily basis and vice versa, and I think the end goal is to really build a level of respect for one another and to be able to see each other out in the field and know what the other's going through. It helps build relationships on both sides.
One of the most physically demanding and challenging things we saw that the PD recruits go through is their defensive tactics.
They took us into a room. It's pretty much you put 3 guys up against you, you got to break out. It's a pretty much an event where you're getting attacked and all the odds are stacked against you, and you got to fight your way out and survive, basically.
When you go into that type of situation, you don't know how long you're going to be fighting for. You don't know how strong or what background that person has. And the environment that you're going to be in is completely different every single time. All of those different things, you know, add up to, you know, making it definitely the most difficult event of the day.
It's just different. It's a totally different style of exercise, and there's also, you know, the challenge of staying calm and staying cool and trying to solve a problem. Somebody's on top of you, you know, how to get them off and continue to, you know, not panic and resort back to your training.
One of the most physically demanding things from the PD side, which talking to recruits, what they told us is having to carry all the tools, wear the gear, go up 6 flights of stairs, and then finding out that their job has just started. This is just the very beginning. We haven't even gone inside the building. We haven't even gone to search for victims yet. We haven't even gone inside. So all that stuff was done prior to making entrance into a structure. And then that's when our real job starts. They're going to kind of have an idea of what we're doing, what we're going through, the physical agility and effort it takes to do these, and maybe they can assist us and help us out, now knowing and having a little appreciation of what we do.
We had basically a mock scenario where we were carrying weapons and had to make decisions on basically when to shoot and when not to shoot. You see a lot on TV, you see a lot on the internet about decisions that are made out in the field that taught us a lot, that you have less than a second to think and react and try to process what you're seeing in front of you. You want to neutralize the threat, but at the same time you want to protect the people to the left and right of you, and it's not easy, and you know, that was definitely a big learning moment for myself.
By far the favorite event was the driving the police vehicles. The first warm-up lap was pretty quick pace to what I thought it would be, and then, you know, when they showed us what they actually do and what they can actually practice on a daily basis is above and beyond any speed, any handling and control that, you know, I thought that a police officer had. Being able to push those cars to those speed limits and just being able to experience what they do on a daily basis and something that challenging was an experience that I'll never get to do again, probably. So I really appreciate getting to drive those cars and mimic what they do on a daily basis.
It was fun to get behind the wheel and get to feed a little speed to the ride, and I had a great partner with me. You know, he made it as lifelike as possible, and understanding the urgency of if you have somebody down in the field, you know, how quickly you need to respond. And it was a blast, and I might have run over a cone or two, but you know, that was a great time.
At the end of that day, the main goal and purpose was that we each have a deeper appreciation for what the other person does. And also maybe have an idea of what they're going through and what they're doing and have a better way to serve them.
Besides building bridges and now having friends within the Mesa Police Department, there's a newfound respect in my eyes for what they do every day and the training that they go through.
So Eric, what was the purpose and the goal behind doing the cross-training this year?
As you know, police and fire departments work together pretty much every day, hand in hand on calls. And so the number one goal is that we kind of understand what the other job is and what their role is, so that we can kind of put ourselves in their position to see where they're at. But two, it also opens that door up and it allows for communication within our city and other cities, so that we can, when we run on calls with other members of other organizations, we kind of have a familiarity with what they're doing, and they know who we are, we know who they are, and vice versa. So,
well, thank you both for coming in today. Really appreciate it, and thank you for watching Chandler in Focus. I'm Councilmember René Lopez. Talk to you next time.